Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Jeffrey Lazarus, and welcome back to Multiplayer Mondays on the Gaming Vector. And as you can see, we are playing Magic 2014 again. So we are just going to try and get a match real quick, and hopefully get into some multiplayer action. Now, unfortunately, I keep getting thrown up against the same guy over and over. There we are. And the last time I attempted to play him, he didn't actually ready up at all. So as you can see, I'm playing a different deck than last time. I'm playing the Avacyn's Glory deck. This is primarily a human and angel-based deck. So if... there we are. If our opponent just readies up, we should be able to get into a match, and hopefully we will be able to defeat this guy, or at least put on a good show. So we are just waiting for him to load in, I suppose. Also looking at my hand here. That's not terrible. 3 lands, Elder Cathar, Oblivion Ring, 2 Gather the Townsfolk cards. For starting hand, I'll take that. There's nothing big in it. Oh, and this guy is actually playing the deck that I usually play, the Blue Illusion deck. So that should make things real interesting real quick. So we're going to play... Let's see... We'll probably play Gather the Townsfolk first. And what Gather the Townsfolk actually does... Yeah, that's fine, go ahead and attack. It lets us put 2 1/1 white human creature tokens on the battlefield. And then if the Elder Cathar dies, we can put counters on one of those tokens to make it more powerful. So right now, that is kind of the basic game plan until we start getting some more cards into our hand. We have drawn another land card, so let's go ahead and get our tokens out there. And that at least gives us a little defense against his bear. And he throws another Phantasmal Bear. I wonder if he just drew that. Also, does he only have 1 land out? Am I seeing that correctly? Because if so, he could be severely hamstrung for the early part of the game, and into the late game even. Because there's not a whole lot you can do with 1 land. So, this time we drew Devout Invocation. That could be really, really good later on. For now, we're going to play our Elder Cathar, because now I have a deterrent to him attacking at all, basically. Because if he attacks with either one of his creatures, I block it with the Elder, and then I get to put +2/+2 on one of the other tokens. Oh, and now he has played a Lord of the Unreal. If you've watched my previous matches, you know what that does. Basically, it makes his 2 bears... Yep, we're going to have to block one of them. It makes his 2 bears hexproof. So I can't directly target them with any abilities. We'll stack the counters on this token. It also makes his bears +1/+1. Now, what I can do... I can't do it all in one turn, though. I think my best course of action is going to be to use Oblivion Ring on that Lord of the Unreal. And that exiles him from the battlefield as long as the Oblivion Ring is in play. And now that he has tapped himself out, do I attack? I don't believe I do. Because if I do, then that's going to leave me tapped out, and there's not really much I can do to block his attack, and being that he already has a lead, and another Lord of the Unreal. Oh boy. Yep, this is not going to end well. As much as I would love to block him, it is 6 damage. I'm not going to block it. I'm going to try and bide my time here a little bit and see what I can draw. Hope I get something good. Or, you know, I could just draw another land. That's fine, too. Alright, well, now I have the forces to kill both of his bears if he decides to attack with them again. Granted, I will lose all my creatures. He'll still have his Lord of the Unreal out, but both of the bears will be gone. Now, I have 5 lands on the field, so in 2 turns I can play Devout Invocation. That'll basically allow me to double my creatures. Oh, and there's an Unsummon, and since that is not an actual card but a token, it simply dies. So now he's coming at me for the 6 damage again. Oh, let's see. Do I block it? I don't have to. I'm gonna believe in the cards. I'm gonna believe that the game is gonna give me something that can turn this around. Or it's just gonna give me another bloody land. That's not really helpful. Crap. So I can still stop him from killing me on this turn. Phantasmal Image. Most likely going to copy his, Lord of the Unreal. So now he has a card that makes illusions hexproof that is itself an illusion. So, pretty much my only choice at this point in time is to block each bear, or block each of his cards individually, lose all of mine, unfortunately. And I drew another Elder Cathar. That's not terribly helpful now. So that's pretty much going to be the end of the duel, because he's going to attack on the next turn, and there's nothing I can really do about it. It's sad and unfortunate, but that's just how it's going to work out. Because I can block one of his creatures, and pretty much any one of his creatures can kill me aside from the 2/2. And he skipped the attack. Why? I do not know. That is a strange choice. Well, maybe he's just toying with me. That's most likely it. Huh. Alright. Basically, at this point, I'm just waiting for him to finish me off, because... And he really should, because there is the possibility that I draw something that, you know, could turn this around. Oh, he's going to unsummon... Ah! So you can have a free attack? Yep, there you go, buddy. Just waste an extra turn so you can kill me with all your creatures. Well, being that that was a rather short match, I believe we will back out and actually see if we can't find another match and perhaps play with a different deck this time. Yeah, I pretty much got wrecked there, unfortunately. So let's go ahead and head into free-for-all again. See if we can't find another opponent. And I think this time I'm going to try using... Oh, okay. Got kicked out, apparently. Quick match, free-for-all. And I'm going to try using the Chant of the Moldiah deck. Now, this one is... It's got a lot of different elf-type creatures. It's got... Oh, and kicked from the game. Fantastic. Quick match, free-for-all. Let's go again. But basically, this deck is a lot of elf-type creatures, and then it's got some Annihilator creatures, colorless Eldrazi creatures. Things that can do some real crippling damage to the opponent's, his lands and his creatures. So, let's see what we have here. Not a huge fan of that starting draw. Let's get us a new hand. Oh, one land. Not great. Elvish Piper, Oracle of Moldiah. Shoot. Oh, okay, so I'm stuck with this 6-card hand that has one land in it. Crap. Well, this is not good at all. I definitely need to draw a land. Just one. If I can draw one land, that can get me a couple more lands. And he's actually going to use Thought Scour, which got rid of a land and my Elvish Piper. That's no fun. I wanted the Elvish Piper. That's a really good card. Alright, so we'll use this to get some more lands. Now this guy is playing a blue deck with Thought Scour. He might be playing the blue-black Masks of Dimir deck, which I'm not a fan of playing against that deck. Let me put it that way. The Terramorphic Expanse. If he pulls out a swamp, which he did, yep. So he's playing the Masks of Dimir deck. I believe that is the one that I actually played against in the second episode of this series. Now, I will play my Farhaven Elf. This will allow me to get another land out onto the battlefield. And that's kind of a lot of the basis of this deck, is getting as many lands out as possible, so that then you can use things like Terastodon, or you can get out some of the higher cost creatures that can really do a lot of damage. And he's being forced to discard. Did he actually run out of lands? Tis a possibility. Also, we have Ulamog's Crusher. There's Annihilator 2. That is a favorite. So I think what I'm going to do is play Into the Wilds. Now what this will let me do is at the beginning of every turn, if my top card of my hand, or top card of my deck is a land card, then I can play it. Immediately, without drawing it, it'll just go to the battlefield. So that I can basically get to my creatures a bit quicker, and also get way more lands out there. So he just played Surveilling Sprite, it's a 1/1 flying. If I kill it, he gets to draw a card. Not too worried about that. Oh, and I just drew It That Betrays as well. I don't have near the lands for it, but I did draw it, so there you go. Alright, so let's use Spore Mound. Now, every time a land enters the battlefield, I will get a 1/1 creature, in addition to what I already have. Now, I'm just going to keep poking at him with my elf. If he wants to block with his 1/1 and draw a card, that's perfectly fine by me, and that's what he's going to do. It's not a bad play because it gives him another card in his hand, and now he'll have... he should have something to play. So there he gets another land out, and we are waiting for Last Gasp. -3, -3, so he manages to kill my card, and then he plays the Dimir Guildmage, which is real dangerous if used properly. So we get another Farhaven Elf. Let's go ahead and play you. This will allow me to get yet another land onto the battlefield, and I'm slowly working my way towards being able to play these 3 bigger creatures I have in my hand. This will let me draw a card and also play an additional land if I manage to draw one, which I did, thankfully. But yeah, basically I'm waiting to the point where I can start getting these Annihilators out, because once that happens, if I can get the Annihilators out, then there's not a whole lot he can do to really stop me. They're really, really powerful cards, and they will wipe out his side of the board fairly quickly. So what he's doing here is using the ability of his Guildmage to force me to discard. So that one takes 8, that one takes 8, that one takes 12. I am actually... I'm going to destroy the Terastodon simply because in order to make it work at this point, I would have to sacrifice 3 of my lands, and I don't have enough lands to really make that work right now. So, Colony Heart Expedition. This will allow me to get more lands out once I have some more lands to play. It's a little bit of a strange card like that. It basically, what it does is while it's on the field, it gathers counters every time you play a land. Once you've played 3 lands, and it has 3 counters, you can then sacrifice it to draw 2 more lands, put 1 on the battlefield and 1 into your hand. Now, this is where things become a problem. So he's going to make me discard again. And I think what I'm going to have to get rid of, as much as I don't want to, is It That Betrays. Because right now, I don't even have enough lands for the Ulamog's Crusher, let alone have the 12 lands for the It That Betrays card. So hopefully... Nope, no land to come out from there. Bountiful Harvest, 1 life for each land we control. I'm actually going to hang on to that so that when he makes me discard again, I can actually just ditch Bountiful Harvest and keep my Crusher, because that's way more important to me right now. So there he goes. He's going to make me discard... he might make me discard the rest of my hand. I think he has the lands to do it. Yep. Crap. That's not good. And that's why I don't like playing against this deck. Because having cards in your hand is basically a liability. Now, hopefully... Oh, hello. Unfortunately, if I do that, he's going to make me discard whatever it is. So it has to be something I can play with 4 lands, which I can't do because it has to have a mana cost of 6 or greater. Shoot. Well, that's not good. I'm going to play it just so I have another creature out there. Maybe I can keep him from attacking me for a little while I try and get something going here. In the meantime, basically I'm going to pick a card that I'm not afraid to discard. I think we'll actually grab the Pelakka Worm. Because now if he decides he wants to make me discard that, I still have 2 more. And yeah, looks like that's what he's going to do. He's playing the Ravenous Rats again, so that I will have to discard my worm. And now he's throwing Illusory Armor or Illusionary Armor, so that he can straight hit me with that 6/6, and there's not much I can do about it. What I can do, though, so I'll block it with the Fierce Empath, because he's already served his purpose. He got me a card into my hand. Unfortunately, it wasn't anything I could use. So at least that way I'm not just eating the damage straight to the face. Also, another Heart Expedition. I need creatures, not things to help me get more lands when I not already... Yeah. Okay, well, we're going to hang back. We may have to block that 6/6 again. Was really hoping that I could have gotten one of those Annihilators out there. And now he has a flying. Vengeful Vampire. It's 3/2 flying, undying. So I can either kill one of his rats or I can block 6 damage. I'm going to make the gambit of blocking the 6 damage. I'll still take 2, but... Oh, yes. Okay, a land came out from top of the library. And yes, my second Ulamog's Crusher. Now, he probably... Oh, no, he definitely has the power to take it out, but it's going to lay waste to his side of the field regardless. He does also possibly have the ability to just get it off of the board and then force me to discard it, depending on what cards are in his hand right now. So there's Veldikon Dismisser. That's going to kick that back into my library, actually, not my hand. So that now I will not be able to block any of the damage he's going to throw at me, which is going to be about 11 points. Yep. That's going to put me down to around 5 health. Yep. Okay, and obviously another land's not going to come out. It's just going to be me throwing the Crusher again. And that's actually going to be game, because he only needs to do 5 damage, and I actually can't block enough to stop him from doing 5 damage. Also, he tried to play Illusionary Armor on top of a card that already had Illusionary Armor. And then he's going to cast Sleep, just to make things even worse. Unfortunately, what that did with the Illusionary Armor was, if that creature is targeted by an ability, he has to get rid of the armor. I don't know why he was doing that on the last turn, aside from the fact he just wanted to do as much damage as possible. But there you have it. So that is 2 matches of Magic lost. Oh. And I do think that is going to do it for us here today on Multiplayer Mondays. But as always, if you have a suggestion for a game that I should play here, please leave it in the comment section below this video. And as always, I have been your host, Jeffrey Lazarus.